Hi everyone, this is Michael Jeffries, and first I'd like to thank those people that sent me positive feedback, saying they really enjoyed my videos. And sorry I've been away for a while, but back today with a trap actually that's not very well known, and I kind of am having some second thoughts about giving it away because it's actually a trap in my pet opening. But what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and give it away here. And if you happen to play me on ICC, then oh well, I guess that's one trap that I know you won't fall into. But anyway, it's like I said, it's not real well known, and it begins with D4, which is what I open with. And if my opponent plays D5, then I go ahead and play the Trompowsky attack, bishop to G5. Now, sometimes players will get very aggressive and immediately play the move pawn to c5. And this is actually a blunder, and it's kind of shocking to some people that they're actually making a blunder, on move two, but it's actually true. And the reason it's a blunder is because I can just take that pawn, which is what I do. And I can't tell you how many people have fallen into this trap. I've won many games with it. And now the main idea is that they're just going to throw their queen out there with check and pick the pawn up. But before I show you that, I'll show you just kind of a fun one that happened just recently where somebody didn't play the queen out check, which is the most common move, and we'll get to that in a second. But they played knight to c6, just developing, and I played knight to c3, and they pushed the pawn on the knight, and the knight moved. And then they made a big blunder here, bishop to b5, and it's game over. Can you see it? Yep, knight into d6 check, and the knight cannot be taken because then black will lose the queen, and after the king moves, I have knight takes bishop, and so black just resigned here. So that's kind of another benefit of this trap is there's other ways to go wrong. But in the main line, they don't usually play knight to c6. They usually play queen out to a5 check, and I play knight to c3. And now they suddenly realize they have a problem, because if they just take the pawn back right away, they're going to lose their pawn on d5 when I go queen takes. And so what they generally do, most people, is they play pawn to e6, which looks very safe and solid, and now they're going to get ready to capture their pawn back, and life is good. But then I hit them with this move, pawn to e4, and now they have the same problem. If they just retake, I'll recapture on d5, pawn takes, and if they go pawn takes again, I'll go queen takes, and they're still going to be down a pawn. And so this is what they always usually do, is play pawn takes pawn on e4, thinking, okay, I'll first take first and then I'll take back. But now comes the bad news. They get hit with a shot here. Take a look at the position, see if you can see. What would you play for white here? And it's your knight's pinned on c3, so you can't take on e4. Also note that when they take the pawn on c5 with the queen, your bishop on g5 will be hanging. But the correct move here is, bang, pawn to b4. And that move comes as a bit of a shock to black. Usually they're like, what? And they're like, okay, well, I guess I have to take that. And then they realize suddenly that if they take it, this square here is going to have a nasty surprise. That would be queen to d8 checkmate. So it would look like this. If takes, then smack, checkmate. And I've had this happen to many players. And so it's just game over instantly. But some of the better players will spot that. They'll realize something like, why would I give a pawn away on b4? And it's to deflect the queen. So the queen has to go back, and it only has one square, and that's c7. It has to stay protecting d8. But now I hit him with another little surprise here, knight to b5. And again, the queen does not have any squares to go to, and if it leaves, goes to c6, then again I have queen d8 mate. And so finally the only move here is to offer a trade of queens, and I'm happy to do that. Queen takes queen, check, and they have to take with the king. Note that if they take with the bishop, then they run into this fork. Knight to c7, check, and oh, actually mate. Sorry about that. I'm half asleep here. Yeah, that's mate. So that would be pretty bad. I don't even know my own trap. Nice. So anyway, king takes his first, and now I get a free developing move, and probably most of you would play this too, and that is just castles. Queenside with check, and again, look at all this that white has a rook coming down the d file, this knight attacking c7, the bishop cutting across the diagonal in the dark squares. So black's in huge trouble here, and the only move is king c6. And notice that my bishop here on f1 protects the knight, so I don't have to worry about that. But then there's this other little funny move here, knight to d6, and now I'm threatening to play knight takes f7, and then I'll be on this, whoops, knight takes f7, and then I win the rook in the corner. And so because of that, they tend to do this. Bishop takes knight, which looks like a logical move. It gets rid of one of my attacking pieces and stops knight takes f7. Unfortunately, now white has a forced mate here. Rook takes check, king to c7, only move, and wait for it. Yep, bishop to d8, checkmate, and game over. And so anyway, this was my pet line, the Trompowsky against pawn to d5, and this is a little known trap in it. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Michael Jeffries. Talk to you later.